What's up everybody, stress-free, back again on a Diablo 4 video. Here we're going to take a look how the Dance of Knives Rogue takes on Andariel. Also I'll have a few bonus other fights like Belial and Harbinger of Hatred. So basically this is just showcasing how trivial these fights have become. You just like almost just one shot down now with the much power you have. Blizzard definitely needs to add like another version of these fights, so like a much harder one and more rewarding I guess. But you guys can let me know in the comments how you feel about that. But that's just my opinion. I'll also have the full build guide at the end of the video if you guys are interested. If you guys enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe. Now let's get into the fights. Alright, now let's take a look at the gear that I was using for this build. Starting with the helmet. We have here Fist of Fate, double GA. This is pretty much had to put to use. One of the best items right now this season. So here we have lucky hit chance, very important, and I got another GA on chance to make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds, also pretty nice. And the big kicker here is the new buff to the unique affix, which is like they got 360% now. So be sure to be on the lookout for any kind of Fist of Fate slot for this build, very important. Next we also got a Shroud of False Death, also real nice. I didn't try to experiment yet with some kind of unique one, but there's not that many uniques that are really good for this build so far. Still, you can't go wrong with Shroud of False Death. Here you're trying to hit life or probably all stats. Those are like the two of the best ones. Next we have Bands of the Icarus Rose, very important for this build. Also gives you a ton of damage with Poison Trap. Gives you attack speed, resistance, that's okay, but I think you should be trying to get here Poison Trap to cast twice. I might have to reroll on that. And it's a double GA with with a perfect unique aspect roll. So must have for the build. Next we got the pants. Here I'm kind of going off meta a little bit. Banishlord's Talisman. I'm just getting it for the core skills and attack speed and max life, but I would want to experiment probably with Crown of Lucian, or you can also probably use the Godslayer's Crown in the slot. So yeah, pretty much this one is like experimental. Next, moving on to the most important one is Scoundrel's Leather. Basically a must-have. Yeah, you can also have this on the chest just to get the build going. You could get it on a chest piece, so that's farmable. If you're not lucky getting like a chaos version of it. But this is like a must-have because it converts your traps into core skills and you get all the core benefits from it. It's pretty insane. Here it also has 6 stats, you get movement speed, damage trap enemies, trap damage, and damage reduction for enemies affected by trap skills. And you also gain a 36% boost with the unique aspect. So yeah, so this thing's like a must-have for the build. So always be on the lookout for Scoundrel's Leather. Next we got the amulet. Here we're looking for dexterity. I got max life and tall armor. Kinda, this is not like a really S tier one, but whatever. It could be better. And we got traps arm faster and damage production. Pretty much the usual. And the important aspect here, you want poison immune skills have up to 50% chance to deploy Poison Trap. That's where basically the whole build setup, where you're using Poison Movement, you imbue dancing knives, and once you're using that, you're spamming the poison trap, and that's pretty much all your damage comes from here. Next we have the rings. Here I'm going for the aspect that gives me +5 to agility and substitute skills, so it's +5 ranks to poison trap, pretty nice. Here also I would say the most recommended one is probably resistance to all elements, to be like a GA, but that fixes a lot of your elemental problems. And you got attack speed, crit, and I also got substitute reduction, that one could be rolled. And of course you're going for damage per dark shroud. Next you got of course Ring of Starless Skies. Yeah, I got very lucky and I got +6 to core skills. And that was great. Very much huge boost to damage. And of course the unique aspect is also pretty insane. Next we got those weapons. Here I'm using a sword. Basic dex, life, critical strike damage, poison trap duration. Poison trap duration is pretty important. And we got damage per dark shroud, and we also got the dancing knife aspect here, the one that shatters them and just spreads them all around. And for the second weapon, we have a dagger, 50% damage to close enemies as its inherent affix. And we also got dexterity, max life, damage over time. That could be another stat that you could like kind of stack with this build, and I could try that also. You got poison trap duration and damage per dark shroud. And of course you have the inner sight here, that's one of our perks that we're using. You want the inner sight aspect also. And least but not last, we got the two-handed weapon. We got the crossbow here for the 100% vuln damage. And it's a double GA, so that also doesn't hurt. We got dex, damage, vuln damage, poison trap duration, and damage per dark shroud. And also, a very important aspect here is also the contamination, where your poison trap just bursts for additional damage, and you deal extra poison damage for over 9 seconds. And we also didn't go over the runes here. So runes I got here, Ahu Quacks. Basically, it's like a standard this season, where you just get like 100 damage for 1 second. You burn your primary resource, and that kind of also helps out and gives you the shield, and for this build, extra shield. And we got the emerald gems on all slots, and for the weapon I'm using Sir Watt. Let me cast 5 skills, and I got the execute here for the decryptify. It for the items. Now let's go over the skill tree pretty quick. The standard, there's nothing special here. Here I kind of like sturdy and siphon strikes. Of course you're going for dancing knives. You go cal traps, the one that chills. I like a subtle elixir, trick attacks, and I got balestra here. Okay. We're going for concealment, gives you unstoppable. We got smoke grenade. And we got malice, very important. Exploit, also huge bonus boost. And of course we got poison trap here with subverting poison trap. Dark shroud, always a must. Gives you defenses and offense. Now we're going for poison imbuement, and we're going for blended poison imbuement, and we're maxing out all the poison nodes. Very nice. Got Deadeye here for extra 40% damage. And we got Frigid Finesse, also for more damage to chill enemies. We're also using Death Trap, that can be used to like pull in targets. And also it becomes a free cast when you cast like a caltrops. Here we got Impetus, Alchemical Fortune, and we're going for second wind for the extra barrier. And we got Exposure for extra trap damage. And for skill assignments, we got Dancing Knives, Poison Trap, Dark Shroud, Poison Mutant, caltrops, and Concealment. And for special edition, I got Inner Sight. Attacking enemies to fill your inner sight gauge, marks them to fill it faster. When you gain full momentum energy, you get more critical strike chance. And let's go to the Paragon board. We got the starting zone. Here we're going for versatility. Gives me a ton of damage. Basically boosts up your magic nodes. So from the magic nodes, we gain almost 147 damage elites. We got 98 base damage. And you also gain 25% increased damage to non-basic, non-core skills. I'm not sure if it affects that though. The next section we have is Deadly Ambush. Here we're going for all the trap damage nodes. And for the glyph we got Ambush, of course. It's all trap focused here, so Once again, you get a ton of damage here, like 230% damage trapped enemies, and you want to get all these nodes over here. Next, we slide over here. We got Dense Macabre. So basically, when you cast an ability or substitute skill, in our case, we got Dark Shroud to cast. Yeah, basically Dark Shroud, just to get it going. So it's always nice, you always can basically have 50% increased damage. And for the glyph, we have Snare, once again, more trap damage. And this one gives us 240% trap damage and 18 regular trap damage. And also, it gives the traps a little bigger range. And once again, you want to go for these nodes, they're really strong. And for here, I went for these two also, Brawler and Ranger. Because you go like in and out battle, so it's extra damage that's stacking. Next board, we have Nera's Instinct. Again, boosts up your core skills by 60%. And you also get like an extra dodge. And here we're going to this section, grabbing all this, Nimble, Restorative, extra health. And for the glyph, we got Canny. Basically one of the best glyphs for Rogue this season. Very useful, so be sure to max it out. And we're just going for Essential and Punishments. And just try to get all the int nodes here. Very strong. And for the last board we have is Eldritch Bounty. That gives us some extra resistances, and most importantly, it gives us increased 50% of poison damage. So we're going through here. Again, ready supply. And I'm using Bane for this one. A lot of these people use like Headhunter, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's like how much more boost you get from that. Here I'm getting 131 poison damage, and up 10% up, almost 9% poison damage also. And you also gain like a little chance for the double damage. Still in the testing phase, but it's basically like a poison trap theme, so why not go with it. We got Concoction and Potent. That's pretty much for the gloves. I'll also have the build guide in the description below, so you guys could like follow it more in detail. Next we got the Mercenaries. We got here right here. I really like getting the 15% all resistance and getting like the Bastion and Inspiration here. And this is like basically standard. You always want Bloodthirst, getting more attack speed and movement speed. Very nice. And also let's not forget the seasonal perks. Now we're going for, of course, Hit and Run. It's also got buffed by like 20%. I think it was 50 before. Very strong since you're always moving. Next we got Accelerated Chaos, extra chaotic burst, and a chance to like reduce your cooldowns, which is nice. And we got Power Siphon, extra force kill damage, and we also got Innovative Strikes. It also increased the core damage by 150%. This is pretty much the standard for the perks. If you guys made it this far, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe for more D4 content. I'll link a few of my other videos. If you guys want to go check them out, I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.